Hey there ladies, Nat Carter, personal trainer and fitness expert from NatalieCarterTalksFitness.com. Are you struggling with trying to stick to an eating plan? Because if you are, number one, you're definitely not alone. There's many women out there who do find it hard. What I'm going to deal with is just a couple of the reasons it's happening in the first place and how to overcome them. So to give you a couple of solutions, which is always a good thing. So a lot of the time, these programs, diets, etc., they are setting you up to fail. Unfortunately, and if anyone had any time on their hands, you can realize that we still are yet to find a cure for overweightness, obesity, etc. There's still nothing, and there's nothing that's a permanent fix. So yes, managing our our eating with great nutrition and exercise is great, but it's not long lasting, unfortunately. So still, science hasn't really. There's nothing there's no magic bullet. The problem with these programs is generally they're benefiting someone else. So, you're paying for a program to be delivered in whatever kind of concept, if it's a PDF or, online book, blah, 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 or someone's book. It still is going to come down to your ability to stick to that plan. And let's really be honest, some of them are too restrictive. So they might cancel out certain food groups. Not a good idea if you want long-term success, because you'll eventually find yourself, carbs is a really common one, you'll eventually find yourself coming back to the thing that you're restricting or really craving that, so it doesn't work. If you have watched my video previously about binge eating, deprivation diets aren't the answer. So go back over that and have a little look. So these restrictive plans are never a good idea in the beginning. Don't get me wrong, I think that when we start something, we really crave a little bit of restriction. We do a program and we say, yeah, I get to not have this, and it makes us feel good about ourselves. But over time and week after week after week, it's not the best way to deal with fixing the problem just by not having something. We've got to deal with the emotions surrounding why we eat or don't eat. A lot of the time in these diets, eating plans, the calories are far too low. So they're very much, they're on that basis of, I'm the expert, whoever it is, and I want my plan to work as quickly as possible and give lots of people a really great image of myself. And look at all these people that have done the diets. The thing that we fail, a lot of people love showing before and afters. We never see the after, and that's generally when you're dealing with lots of bounce back. So, girls might have succeeded with their before and after, and they've got their big fat belly with their sad face, and then they're all svelte and sexy and skinny, and they just feel amazing. If you were then to do another little photo, perhaps in a 6-week, 4-week time after that, you'll find they're kind of back to sad, unhappy, big tummy, stressed again, feeling bad, because guess what? The calorie restriction thing, it doesn't work long term. So yeah, a lot of the time the calories are too low, and really I think the best way to address how many calories you do need, if we start off with the average woman who just kind of wants to maintain, you're needing about 2,000 calories a day. So a lot of these diets are like 1,200 calories. It's far too low to really think about doing that long term. And I've had a lot of clients that I've had to kind of say, like, do you understand that 1,200 calories is not enough food for a day-to-day basis? So the best thing to do is go and pop yourself off and get a DEXA scan, and just, or even if you don't, what that does is kind of measures where you're at in terms of your bone density and muscle mass. You will then get an idea of what is best for you. I also think too, if we just stop surrounding ourselves with this, everything needs to be low calorie this and low, and start to actually nourish and have a thriving body. So get your calories up to like the normal maintaining 2,000 a day, and then gradually just, chop down a couple of hundred as opposed to, like almost half. I just think it's ridiculous. It just doesn't work, in my opinion. The other thing that you may not or that might be attributing to why you can't stick to diets is you may have an intolerance to a certain food. It's definitely happened with clients in the past that they've, been doing everything that they thought they should be doing, but then lo and behold, nothing's really been moving. They've been exercising excessively, not excessively, but just, enough. They've been following a great diet and they're just nothing's budging. And that is down to food intolerance. So you will need to go and speak to someone who can do your little testing and give you an idea. It's like a very, very straightforward thing that once you kind of get that, realization that possibly something's not working for you, like dairy, for example, or gluten, everything, once you start to balance it all just happens. And that's where you get that magic, just easy kind of, easy weight loss, as she says. Easy, you're right. No, but it's much easier. There's nothing that's kind of blocking your body. Your body's not in balance to start off with, so it's not going to thrive, basically. You also might be doing too much exercise or not enough. So both of those have a detrimental effect. Like a lot of and I freaking hate them. A lot of those very low calorie diets, like they might be shakes, etc. They love, you don't need to exercise and you don't do this. So what's happening is you're just wasting away a lot of your muscle mass because you're not doing anything. You're not doing any physical exercise to build it up or to maintain it. And what happens is your body is literally just eating itself to be a certain, number on the scales or dress size. So that's something that you need to address. How much is too much exercise? I think this comes down to the fact that if you hate, you start to get into that hate exercise kind of mode, then that's when it's too much. You might get this a lot when people are doing an excessive amount of cardio training, where they just they can't even put their shoes on to go out for the run, or they don't want to do the spin class because they're just mentally and physically broken down by the excessiveness of exercise. So look, in my opinion, I think that you shouldn't be doing more than an hour every day, because at the end of the day, I want to know what the hell you're doing in that time frame. You can get great workouts in under an hour. 45 minutes is kind of my perfect. I really like a 45-minute workout. I think it's really sufficient and you can get a lot done in it. That's cardio and weights. And you've also got to be questioning who's given you this program. What are they an expert in, or are they qualified to give a program? I don't know that you should be taking advice just from someone who has done something with the hope that it'll kind of work for you. Look, I know that we love to kind of go around our buddies and think, oh wow, that's really worked for you. You've got to understand though that there needs to be a little bit of science behind it as well. And there's also a duty of care too that you need to be giving to these, as the expert I'm talking about. There's a duty of care that you need to understand that there are really young girls that can get hold of your program, and that's not a good thing. If we already set them up on, these really low calorie diets and eating plans just based on something that we think will work or has possibly worked for us, it's just not a good land to be in. So what are my recommendations and how can you best stick to an eating plan? Well, for me, we've really got to get things into balance. So you've heard that 80-20 rule where 80% you're just really trying to eat quite healthily, and then 20% you're allowing yourself to have some treats. I think when we start to go further over this kind of 80-20, we're just finding that it's not a long-term situation. You want to be including as many whole foods as possible. So we're trying to eat less of boxes, packaged foods, processed foods, all of that kind of stuff. That's like a no-brainer. A lot of people say it's really hard. It's not. You just need to make an effort to just kind of say, look, I'm done with that stuff, and whole foods is going to be the thing that I choose more of. You want to make sure that your diet's quite high in fiber and water content as well too, because a lot of the time these diets, for example, a low carb diet is not really giving you a lot of fiber. So you're finding that Yes, you might be losing a lot of weight, which tends to be water weight, especially in the beginning, but you're having really bad digestive issues, and I don't feel that that's the best, it's not the best solution. We want gut health, we want everything working in balance, we want the body to just be thriving, we want it to be as best as it possibly can. If you're not pooing every day, that's not a good thing, right? You're gonna feel shitty. Surprise. So the other thing, and I did talk about it in another video, is about binge eating and emotional eating. You've got to deal with your emotions. If you're finding that you're like doing your little diet plan, but because it's too restrictive, or you feel stressed or whatever, if you're not dealing with the emotions around why you're picking out on junk food, or eating a whole packet of biscuits, you're always going to have this constant problem. So you're going to be the girl that goes from program to program, trainer to trainer, constantly searching for the magic bullet. It doesn't exist, PS. I did mention too that you want to be doing, well, I might have mentioned it, you want to be doing some weight training and cardio as well too. Weight training at least kind of 3 times a week. Cardio, we know that high intensity interval training, which only needs to last about 15 to 20 minutes, it's more of that high intensity little bursts of high work and rest. That's a really effective way of burning fat and achieving great results without too much burnout. I think also it's great to not be in this camp where you think you just have to do weight training or you just have to do cardio. It's the same with thinking you just have to lift heavy or you can't lift lighter weights. Guess what? You can do it all. It's really great to have quite a balance of things so you don't get bored too. And you've got to, I really think at the end of the day with all of these plans, you've got to assess your reason for trying to, this search for perfection. What is it about you? Can you not be happy at whatever size it may be, but you're healthy and you're thriving? Do you have to get to that size whatever? And because we don't want to be size shaming or body shaming. We know that girls who are tall and lean sometimes struggle with their weight issues as well, as opposed to a bigger, curvier girl. But we've got to, you've really got to assess who are you chasing this for? Are you chasing it for yourself? Are you chasing it for, people's perception of you? You will never truly understand where you feel happy at until you actually get to that point. But I can tell you from experience, myself and many other girls, they generally find that hunt for a slimmer, leaner, tinier body that's much less than the one that they have is never the answer that they were searching for. And it's quite sad sometimes to see the journey that happens. And look, it's all a learning experience, so it's fine. But the journey that happens a lot of the time didn't need to. It just needed to. We needed to deal with our emotions. We needed to eat healthily. It wasn't about following a really weird, low restrictive diet. So, I hope that those little tips, I guess, have helped you. And if there are any girls out there who'd like to comment or you'd like to share this video with a girlfriend, please feel free to. I am Nat, and we are so done. See you soon, ladies. Bye.